Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday the 2nd of December. So, new month, lots of data coming out this week, in some of it lesser significance, but we're starting off today with the some PMI data coming out. We've got the ECB President Lagarde speaking at 2 p.m. this afternoon, due to testify before the European Parliament in Brussels, so we'll see what happens there. We've got this morning in the UK, we've got the manufacturing PMI data. Now, because this is the final data, they've invented the flash, which comes before it. We'll see whether it'll have much effect. I would imagine if they've thrown numbers out a little bit earlier, those flash numbers will, as we see elsewhere around the world, will have a bigger influence on the number on reality. Now, if they're as quick as counting beans as they are in everything else in the UK, I don't think there'll be a significant difference here. So 9:30 news, it may have less bearing than it used to have. US data coming out then at 3 p.m. So not a great deal coming out today, but it's the start of a non-farm payrolls week, of course. So looking at the euro dollar daily wise, well, we've got a new monthly pivot coming in. We've got the weekly pivot. It's a bit of a mishmash at the moment in terms of, we've got pivots above and below, which could tear the euro to pieces. In fact, if you're looking at the euro here, and it looks like it's just purely technical, nothing else. Come back to the dailies there. Put in almost a reversal bar there on Friday. Maybe we've got further upside to come, we'll see. Looking at a 60-minute though, if I was looking at upside, I would like it just to come back and hit both the weekly and daily pivots there at around about 10.09ish area. If it came down to that sort of area and started moving backwards, I would look more at the positive side and look up towards that monthly pivot. Okay, that's the euro. Quite a many flattish days last week, although finished a flourish on Friday eventually. The pound still relatively in a tight hole range, but again weekly, monthly pivots fractionally below. This month is, I mean, there's probably no surprises. Just sort of we've seen the pound consolidate more and more. We've still got 10 days till the election day, so we could just see it consolidate more. Yes, there is a bit of news out today, but as I've said, that has already been released in an earlier format now, a newer format, so whether we'll see much action, we'll see. But weekly pivot fractionally below, and daily pivot I think is been hit. So actually the monthly, weekly and monthly, these may be an early target post 8 o'clock to be looking for at well, it's 12 pips away, the weekly. We'll see what happens here. It may be even worth just waiting for them to be hit and see if they get support of those areas and look for the long side. I'm looking elsewhere. I notice there's sort of quite a build up of shorts coming through from a retail side on the pound, and it starts building up like that. I'll start looking for the longs as these shorts may get squeezed. Right, okay, that's the pound. Looking at the yen then. Yen's continued to soften. It was the best trade in terms of just looking at the swing side on the yen, though the intraday points are pretty few and far between at times, but it has continued to push up throughout last week there. Now weekly pivot below, which may be a draw. I just missed the monthly and the daily. Monthly sitting below. There we go, we've got all three sitting below, actually, daily, weekly, monthly. I think the way things are going now, even if it's to get back to its weekly pivot may be a big ask. It's in this sort of pretty solid upward trend, and it's taken a long old time up there, but to me at the moment it looks like it may just have further upside. Aussie dollar, not going to go through the smaller time frames, upper time frames here, but it is in quite a major downward trend. Actually, I just need to look at the dailies here for a moment. And it's just show you that downward trend. In fact, the numbers came out overnight weren't particularly good for the Aussie dollar either. It's actually held up better than they probably some may have expected from that point of view. But there is I think a Reserve Bank of Australia meeting this week, I think on Tuesday. So we'll see whether further cuts are made in interest rates, or the discussions are had regarding further cuts. Already daily pivot and weekly pivot being hit on the Aussie. My thoughts are still potentially for further downside yet though. Canadian dollar's been consolidating on the dailies here, not really much price action going on here either. It gives one day and takes back the next almost. There was some positive data out late last week there, but not really having much reaction from that. It's just a blip really. As it stands at the moment, very choppy intraday, and it just, I would be looking for eventually a break to the upside if I was swing trading it, but at the moment not really going too far. New Zealand dollar, well, I've been talking about this for weeks now, it seems, probably a month or two. Anyway, it's starting to get a bit of traction this morning at least. That might, if it's true to form, it'll probably give half that back at least during the daytime. But it's at last started to break out. Bit of a gap there. We got a daily, weekly, and monthly pivot underneath. So maybe it will come back and tick those boxes off. But we are seeing money sort of running into it there through the Asian session. So that's pretty much it for me. As I say, there is some data out this morning, but the UK data may be a bit washed out. So. But best trade opportunities this morning, possibly cable if it gets back to its pivots, etc. May, as I say, may become a bounce, or it could be post 8 o'clock traded back towards that sort of area of 28.97. But just tread carefully. It's only 20 pips, and as I say, may happen. Good potential, but really looking on the long side. Have a great day. Bye for now.